Today, a Republican candidate for Michigan governor appeared in court over charges related to the January 6th Capitol insurrection. Ryan Kelly pleaded not guilty to misdemeanor charges. Federal investigators say Kelly climbed up through the scaffolding for President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration stage during the Capitol attack and motioned for rioters to advance. Just hours before his court appearance, Kelly defended his actions on January 6th. And during a debate with other Republican candidates. Let's watch.
We were there protesting the government because we don't like the results of the 2020 election, the process of how it happened. And we have that First Amendment right. And that's what 99% of the people were there for that day. And yes, I support President Trump.
All right. So what do you think, Sarah? How much could this potentially impact the race?
Well, look, Ryan Kelly is basically running on this. He's not running from it. He's not showing any amount of shame. He said it was First Amendment activity, although investigators are saying, you climbed the scaffolding. So that would move me on First Amendment activity as far as the federal government is concerned. But, he keeps bringing this up. He also brought up that he believes that Donald Trump actually won in 2020. He thinks the election was stolen, even though he's campaigning in a state Joe Biden won by 154,000 votes. And it was very clear on that debate stage that all of the Republicans were trying to sort of one-up each other on how pro-Trump they were, how far they were in Trump's corner. So it's clear that, Kelly thinks that this is a good thing for him in a Republican primary. Will it be a good thing for him if he wins and is in the general election? I guess we'll see.
We'll have to see. All right, so let's talk more about last night's debate. The Republican candidates were asked yes or no, do you believe the 2020 presidential election in Michigan was stolen? Listen to their answers.
And the answer for me is that yes, the 2020 election in the state of Michigan was fraudulent and it was stolen from President Trump.
Yes, just like Mr. Kelly said, they continue to sweep us underneath the rug. They call it a big lie, but the people deserve to know.
We don't know what happened in an election where the Secretary of State is cheating.
There's no question that there was fraud.
All right, to be clear, I've said this a million times, I'll say it again. Even Trump's own attorney general says there was no widespread fraud. We've seen many Republicans testifying in the January 6 hearings that the election wasn't stolen. But it seems like, Alice, when you listen to their answers, like we were talking about earlier, it's like how hard can you hit home this lie that the election was stolen? Yeah. No, it was stolen even more. I mean, how much of a litmus test is this?
Well, clearly in the Michigan GOP primary, it's a huge litmus test. They couldn't be racing to the Trump side of the ticket more. And the real test is who can be more bigly Trump, clearly, by saying that. Look, they need to stop this. They need to quit running on grievances of the past and start running on policies of the future. They have 124 days until the November elections. They need to be talking about inflation. They need to be talking about the economy, about jobs, about crime. Those are the issues that voters in Michigan and across the country are concerned with. And to Sarah's point, him talking about storming the Capitol and exercising his free speech, he didn't like the election results. I didn't like the election results. I didn't storm the Capitol. And I think that will hurt him. He has risen in the polls as of late, but I think that's going to come back to haunt him as we hear more from the January 6th committee.
This seems to be sort of a prerequisite for many Republican candidates, but what I've seen out on the campaign trail is that you can't win on this issue alone. I mean, look at David Perdue in Georgia. You have to additionally be able to run on other issues. I also think that it's worth noting that this issue looks different in different candidates. So, for instance, I covered Glenn Youngkin's successful governor's race last year in Virginia. Lots of buzz about him potentially running for president in 2024. He was not out there in this grandiose fashion talking about how the election was rigged or stolen, but he was centering election integrity. That's sort of a wink and a nod, I think, to this issue. So we will see this in many forms, but I just don't think it's salient enough to bring a candidate to victory.
Yeah. But I think that's an important point about how even the people who aren't doing the full-blown, it was stolen, almost all of them are saying things like, well, we need to look into it. Or, it wasn't totally fair. Or there are concerns, or people are asking questions. There's very few of them that will actually just say, Joe Biden won the election, right? And so it has become so central, and that is obviously extremely concerning, I would say, I think to any American, not just, to people in the Republican Party.
They dance around it. Even if they don't come out and say it, they dance around it. Well, people are asking questions. Well, of course, because you have leadership in America that continues to push that lie, and now it has become, as you pointed out, a litmus test for Republicans running for office.